Hello and welcome. In today's video we'll be starting off with drafting of this dress, and then we'll move on to cutting and sewing the bodice and then the skirt as well. If this is a video you are interested in learning, then let's get started. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment and share this video. Starting off with drafting the back, so I'm going to go ahead and draw these lines here. This is just a guideline on the top and then on the side as well. So for the back pattern, I'm going to use a shoulder length of 5.5 inches. I'm going to mark it. The neck depth and the neck width I'll be using is 3x1, and I'm going to connect the dot and draw my neckline, and I'm going to use a shoulder slope of 0.5 half inch for the back. So I've marked it here, and I'll go ahead and then draw this guideline here. I'm going to connect from the 0.5 back to the neck to draw my shoulder slope for the back pattern. The next I'm going to do is to input my chest line of 6.25 inches. I'm going to mark it out and then extend the line across. Afterwards, I'm going to input my bust measurement of 6.5 inches, and then I'll mark it. Then I'm going to measure what I have here, divide it by 2, that's about 2.75, and then I'll mark it across and then square a line. After squaring this line, I'm going to go in by half inch and then mark and connect the line from the half inch to the shoulder slant we have at the top there. Then I'm going to draw in my armhole. Remember to smoothen the lines. Please don't forget to subscribe. Your subscription means a lot to us. The next I'm going to do is to input my half length measurement, and the half length I'm working with is 10 inches. I'm going to mark it on the center back line, 10 inches, and then mark it across and square a line. Afterwards, I'm going to input my waist measurement of 6.5 inches, and then I'm going to go ahead and then mark it. Then I'm going to connect a line from the waist to the armhole and then draw my line. So for the back, I'm going to do a V-neck, so I'm going to go up 5 inches from the waist, mark 5 inches, and then connect a straight line from the neck to this 5 inches. So this is it. I'm going to go ahead and add half inch seam allowances all around this pattern, except for the side back that I'll be adding 1 inches, and I'll go ahead and then cut this out. This is my center back, this is my side back, and so I'm going to put this aside and move to the front bodice. So this is my guidelines for the front as well. I'm going to square a line, and I'm going to input my shoulder length of 5.5 inches. For the front neck, I'm going to be doing 3x2 inches. Now go ahead and then draw my neck for the front. So I'm going to square a line down from the shoulder length and mark 1 inch for the shoulder slope for the front, connect my lines and input my chest line of 6.25 and then square a line across. So the next I'm going to do is to input my bust measurement like we did for the back, and also go ahead and then input the 2.75 we did for the back on the armhole, square a line across, and then go in by 0.5 inches, mark and connect it to the shoulder tape we have at the top here. Then I'm going to draw my armhole for the front. The next I'm going to do is to input my half length of 10 inches and mark, and then I'll square a line across. Then I'm going to input my waist measurement of 6 inches, mark it, and then connect a line from the waist to the chest line this way. Then I'm going to add half inch seam allowances all around except for the center front, because I'm going to be cutting this on fold, and also for the side front I'm going to be adding 1 inch seam allowances. Afterwards, I'm going to cut this out. So these are the patterns I have for the front and then the back. So these are the required materials I'll be using for this dress. I have a brocade, I have bridal satin, I have an interfacing here, and this is my cotton fabric I'll be using to line the top bodice. I'm going to be using the bridal satin to cut both the lining of the skirt and the main skirt as well, and I have this hard net here I'll be using for the skirt as well. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my patterns. So I've cut these patterns out. You can see my top bodice lining has been interfaced with the hairstay, and these are my patterns for the main bodice block as well. I'm going to put the front bodice together, put the lining and then the main fabric right side facing right side, and I'm going to pin it at the neck area, and I'm going to do same for the back as well. Place the main fabric on the lining right side facing right side, pin them together, and head to my sewing machine and stitch this down on 1/2 inch for both the neck of the front and then the back. So after stitching it together, this is what I have here, looking so beautiful. I went ahead to also press it and stop stitch the front neckline and then the back as well. This is it. The next I'm going to do is to join the shoulders together, both the back and then the front. I'm going to pin them down beautifully, and then I'll head to my sewing machine and stitch it down on 1/2 inch and press it. After pressing it down, this is what I have. Remember, the right side of these fabrics are facing each other. I'm going to go ahead and then pin the armhole down, both armholes down, and head to my sewing machine and stitch it down on 1/2 inch seam allowances. So after stitching it down, I'm going to pull this fabric out, the right side out, and this is what we have. Please do this gently. It's looking so beautiful already. I'm going to head to my ironing table and give it a very good press so that it is flattened beautifully. This is what we have after ironing it. This is what we have here, and I have 2 strips of belt I have cut. I'm going to be stitching this on the sides of this bodice block, so 1 for each side of the dress. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. So the next I'm going to do is to turn this bodice wrong side out this way, and then I'm going to place the belt on each side of this bodice block and pin it down. Please ensure that the belt is out of the way when you are pinning this down, because you could make an error and stitch it beyond the stitching allowance we have added. So I'm going to pin both sides down, head to my sewing machine and stitch it down on 1 inch, the initial seam allowances we added when drafting this pattern. So after stitching this down, this is the bodice block. It's looking so beautiful already. Almost done. We are halfway done. So this is it here. I'm going to notch the center of this bodice block, and I'm going to set this aside, and then we'll concentrate on the skirt. So before we stitch the skirt, I just want to illustrate this. Assuming this is our fabric, I'm going to be cutting 360 and 180 degrees for the for the 360 degrees, I'm going to fold this fabric twice this way, and then I'll fold it again. And on the apex of this fold, I'm going to be taking in my radius. From this point down, my radius, whatever radius I get, I'm going to be marking it to form an arc. And from that arc, I'm going to input my skirt length down here this way. And for the 180 degrees, I'll just fold this fabric once, and from this apex, I'm going to input my radius, which is going to form this arc here. And then I'm going to input my skirt length as well. So this is the fabric for the 360 degrees. I folded it twice like I illustrated earlier. I'm going to input my radius here. The radius you are using is the waist divided by 6.28, and I got approximately 4 inches. So I'm going to input this 4 inches here and then form this arc. And I'll go ahead to add 1/2 inch seam allowances to the waist here this way. I'll mark it out beautifully. And the next I'm going to do is from the waistline, the original waistline, not from the seam allowances. I'm going to input the skirt length. I'm using a skirt length of 24 inches, so I'll mark it all around this way. and then I'm going to go ahead and cut this skirt out. So here we have it. I'll cut out the waistline on the seam allowances. So this is it. Our 360-degree flare is here, and I'm going to cut out the side, one side of this skirt this way, open it up this way. This is it here. I'm going to set this aside and then cut out my 180-degree flare. So for the 180 degrees flare, I'm going to be using a radius of approximately 8 inches. The waist divided by 3.14. I'm going to mark this 8 inches from the apex here, and then mark this arc here, and add half-inch seam allowances like we did for the 360-degree flare, and then I'll mark it across. Then I'll go ahead and then input my skirt length. For this skirt length, I'm going to be using 21 inches instead of 24 because this is going to be our lining. So I'm going to go ahead and mark this 21 inches here, and then go ahead and cut it out. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share this video. So this is it here. Our 180-degree flare has also been cut beautifully. So the next I'm going to do, this is my 180, which is going to be my lining. I have my hard net that I've cut here. I cut about 19 inches, and then the length of this hard net is about 2 yards. So I'm going to go ahead and pleat the hard net on the waist of my lining, which is the 180-degree flare. I'm going to leave about ½ inch from the sides, as you can see. So after pleating, and then I went to the sewing machine and then stitched it down. This is what I have. I notched the center of this skirt as well, and I'm going to come in with my 360-degree flare, which is going to be my main skirt. This is the wrong side of this fabric. I'm going to turn it to the right side, and I'm going to match the center notches together this way, and then I'm going to go ahead and pin the two skirts together. So after holding them with pins, I'm going to come in with my top bodice and then match the center notch of the top bodice to the center notch of the skirt pattern, and then join them together with pins. So after pinning them together, I'm going to head to the sewing machine and stitch this down on ½ inch. So you can see our dress is forming beautifully. So after pinning it down, look at this dress looking so pretty. I'm going to stitch it down on the sewing machine. So here it is. I have stitched it down. It's looking so pretty, coming out so well. The next I'm going to do is to stitch the sides of this skirt together, the center back of this skirt. I also went ahead to hem the main skirt, and for the lining I'm going to use an interlocking hem on the lining of this skirt. So I'm going to hold these 4 pieces of fabrics together at the center back, and I'm going to pin them together. Remember, I'm not pinning the net because I left ½ inch seam allowances when we're attaching the net to the skirt. So I'm going to go ahead and pin and leave about 7 inches from the waist of this skirt to the hem of this skirt, 7 inches opening to take care of my zipper. So this is it here. I'm going to head to the sewing machine and stitch it down. So after stitching it down, look at what we have here. Please remember to press open your seam lines. I'm going to insert my zipper. I'm going to be using this zipper for this dress. This is the final look of this dress, looking so pretty, so beautiful. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Hope to see you in our next video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share this video. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in our next video. Bye.